And he surely shook with fright. He checked off his equipment and made sure his pack was tight. He had to sit and listen to those awful engines roar. He ain't gonna jump no more. There was blood upon the risers, there was blood upon the chute. There was blood that came a-trickling down the paratrooper's boot as he lay there in the welter of his gore. He ain't gonna jump no more. Gory, gory, what a hell of a way to die. Gory, gory, what a hell of a way to die. With a rifle on his back as he's plunging through the sky. When you're falling from a plane and you don't know how to fly. And he ain't gonna jump no more. Is everybody happy? Cried the sergeant looking up. Our hero feebly answered yes, and then they stood him up. He jumped out into the blast. He ducked and grasped reserve. He ain't gonna jump no more. He counted long, he counted loud. He waited for the shock. He felt the wind, he felt the cold. He felt the awful drop. The silk from his reserve spilled out and wrapped around his legs. And he ain't gonna jump no more. Gory, gory, what a hell of a way to die. Gory, gory, what a hell of a way to die. With a rifle on his back as he's plunging through the sky. When you're falling from a plane and you don't know how to fly. And he ain't gonna jump no more. The days he lived and loved and laughed kept running through his mind. He thought about the girl back home, the one he'd left behind. He thought about the medic corps.
Hey dudes, Reagan with Texas Defense Articulations. Check us out on texasdefenseart.com. Buy a hat, sign up for a course, or see about how it's coming to you to get a course done for you. But I wanted to work on something today that's kind of been in my mind a little bit, and that is I made a video on this Mini Grand quite a while back, but I want to kind of revisit it and pair it with my old GI 1911. But this started off as a Navy Garand when I got it, Springfield Armory version. I sent it to Shuffs Parkerizing a few years ago, and he chopped it down and did a whole bunch of stuff to it. And it's been a real fun firearm. Every time I go to the range, someone wants to shoot it, and I'm always happy to let somebody shoot this thing. But boatloads of fun. Wanted to include it in the video and pair it with my GI Springfield Armory 1911. So the GI models, GI is kind of like a standardized model name. I think Para Ordnance came out with a few, and a few other. Of course, Rock Island has their GIs and that sort of thing, but I want to say when I picked this up that the gun store was calling it the World War II commemorative version or something to that effect, because it actually has World War II or WW2 right in the beginning of the serial number. So not a whole lot to say about this gun, but this gun is very important to me. You guys have seen me shoot $4,000 and $5,000 pistols out here, just running them down. And why would you care much about a $500, back in like 2003, 2004 time frame, $500 GI no feature pistol? Well, my brother bought me this pistol, and it was the first 1911 I ever had. So I've kind of refused to get rid of it, even though it's been outclassed by all the other ones that I've gotten. It's always just one of those good things to go back to your roots and remember they weren't all beaver tails and ambi safeties their entire existence. So we'll talk a little bit about it. First of all, I did have these sights changed out here probably only about 2 years ago. The reason why is I was starting to do more 1911 courses, and at the time I only had 2 other pistols that I could loan a client if their pistol crapped the bed whenever they showed up, or they didn't have one whenever they showed up to class and wanted specifically a 1911. So the originals, they were just those little bump sights that really don't do a whole lot except for target shooting only. Don't really help with any, fast target acquisition or anything like that. So I had them swapped out for what most people would refer to as like the mil-spec style sights. It's on the replacement to this, which the Springfield Armory now makes the mil-spec. One of the big differences in the mil-spec actually has a lowered ejection port. This has the old GI style ejection port where it's actually a little bit higher. Downside of that is you'll see some dings on the brass towards the end of it, and that's them collapsing a little bit because they're hitting that ejection port on the way out. But not really anything that would bother me. I was never huge into reloading, and it didn't really stop me from reloading those rounds when I was. Definitely got the short trigger pull right here, the curved and serrated mainspring housing, and your lanyard loop right here. It did come with a different set of grips, a wooden set of grips that had US right in the middle with the double diamonds. The only problem is I never really did like the double diamonds, and I liked something just a little bit more aggressive. They were a little bit slick for me. So I ended up pulling them off and put a rack number on here of 82 because most fine things were made in 1982. Right here. It's a bare bones, rough, not friendly to shoot or anything like that. If you see up close, my hand right here has got a red spot in the web of your hand. I remember reading a lot of the old school Delta operator books, and they'd say you could tell a guy who was high into, well, really far into shooting his 1911 because he'd have a callus right here, and that's got to be where that comes from because it just rubs while you're shooting. If you're going through like 500 rounds or something like that, that's probably going to be bleeding by the end of the day if you don't constantly shoot this. Of course, the front strap is never checkered on a GI model or anything like that, so put some skateboard tape on it because I really do like it staying in my hand a little bit better. You'll notice it's a looser pistol. It's got very loose tolerances like a lot of the old GI models. I hate to say it about it, but I don't know that I've had much of any issues with this gun. I've had a couple of casings to where it slammed on the casing before it could get it out. Most of the time I've run into that, it was an ammunition issue and not anything to do with the gun. But the reliability is up there. As far as how many rounds I have through this gun, I could not tell you. I've had this thing since about 2003, 2004 time frame when my brother bought it for me, and it's not been like my frontline pistol, but it's seen quite a bit of action, including a few competitions. So it's nice and well worn. Not going to do anything except keep it oiled and keep it running. So hope this scratches you guys' itch for some old school 1911 content.